6 stories at 6 with me, Akanksha Khajuria, and this evening a shocking twist in the 2006 Mumbai blast case. 12 convicts are running free even as the Supreme Court stays their acquittal in the case. Now victim families call this a total mockery of justice. Then on to the ED heat on Anil Ambani in a massive money laundering probe. His residence is being raided in Mumbai in Maharashtra, and then from a jail cell to a beach party, accused actor Darshan Singh, in fact, living it up in Thailand amid the murder trial back in the country. And then the Prime Minister is in United Kingdom and signed a key trade deal there with the United Kingdom. We'll break down what it means for the country and the Parliament of India. Once again, there was a showdown which continued on the day 4 of the monsoon session of the Parliament. No business could be conducted once again. And finally, Thailand and Cambodia are engaged in an armed clash. We'll tell you what it is all about. These are the top 6 stories that we're tracking for you this evening. Let's get started. Well, the 2006 blast was among the most deadliest terror attacks in the history of the country, killing 189 people. 13 men were arrested in this case. They were jailed. And this week, in fact, all but one walked out free. They were acquitted by the Bombay High Court. And today, the Supreme Court, in fact, stayed that acquittal that was done by the Bombay High Court as far as this entire case is concerned. But here's the shocking part. They will not be going back to the jail, at least not yet. And families of the victims say that this is nothing less than the mockery of justice. Listen in.
ये तो अच्छी बात है, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट अगर फिर से जांच करके जो अपराधी हैं उनको पकड़ सके, क्योंकि जो अपराधी हैं तो घूम ही रहे थे, क्योंकि उनके अनुसार ये गलत लोगों को पकड़ा गया, ये निरपराध साबित हुए, तो जो अपराधी हैं वो भी घूम रहे हैं, ये भी छूट गए, वो भी उन्होंने किया था, करते ही रहे हैं, करेंगे भी। अगर वो जब तक पकड़े नहीं गए तब तक सही न्याय नहीं मिलेगा, और जैसा ये तंत्र चलता रहा है चलता रहेगा।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो स्टे दिया उससे खुश हैं?
हाँ, उससे खुश हूँ, बट एट द सेम टाइम उससे सही न्याय की उम्मीद करता हूँ।
बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट ने जब फैसला दिया था तो कहीं न कहीं बड़ा झटका लगा था आप लोग को, क्योंकि आप लोग विक्टिम हैं। बिल्कुल
झटका लगा था, इसलिए कि जो हम उतना ही झटका लगा था, उतना ही तकलीफ़ हुआ था जितना 11 जुलाई 2006 को बम ब्लास्ट से हुआ था। उससे तमाम समस्याएं आई, अर्निंग इफ़ेक्ट हुई, हमारी कमाई कम हो गई, घर का खर्चा चलाना मुश्किल हो गया था, और अभी उसका आज तक ही भुगतान है। मेरा राइट ईयर ही 80 to 90% ठीक हो पाया, लेफ्ट ईयर से अभी भी समस्या है बोलने की।
It's been 19 years since the serial blast took place in Mumbai. There's been no closure for the family. Let's take you through what happened 19 years ago. In fact, 2006, there was a blast, a serial blast. In 11 minutes, there were 11 blasts in the local trains in Mumbai. Then in 2006 and 2007, 13 men were arrested in this case. As you know, 12 were acquitted, and now that acquittal has been stayed. In 2015, a trial court, which was pursuing this case under the MCOCA Act, it convicted all the accused in this case. 12 in total, 5 were given death penalty and the other 7 were given life imprisonment. In 2025, just earlier this week, High Court acquitted all of them, in fact making very scathing remark against the police. And today, Supreme Court has stayed that acquittal, but no jail return will be done as far as all the 12 accused convicts in this case are concerned. Let's take you through what happened in 2015 when this judgment took place. In fact, what we're learning is that 12 convicts were there who were convicted for the serial blast. 5 were kept on death row. They were given the death penalty, and in fact, 7 others were given life imprisonment. And that was back in 2015, and the order was given by the trial court there in Mumbai. Now let's tell you what happened earlier this week as far as this trial is concerned, what the High Court said. The High Court said that prosecution, that is the police there, utterly failed to prove the case. Police failed to prove the meetings, the money flow, the terror angle, everything. They completely and utterly failed to prove as far as this case is concerned. Unreliable witnesses eyewitnesses, inconsistent timelines were given by Mumbai ATS. This was on Monday, that is July 21st, and that order was challenged by the Maharashtra government. They moved the court challenging the Bombay High Court order, and that order now has been stayed. What that essentially means is that now there's a stay on the acquittal of all these 12 accused. But here's the shocking part: they will not come out of the jail. They will remain out, because earlier this week, when they were acquitted, all of them were in fact released from the jail. 12 of them were asked to come out, but they will not in fact come out. And as far as this entire probe is concerned, we are learning that it was completely bossed up, and this is what was mentioned by the Delhi High Court when it acquitted all the 12 in this case. The first lapse is test identification parade, that is TIP, carried out by unauthorized officer, and that was one of the lapses that had come to the fore. Eyewitnesses' statement taken after 100 or more days, and this is as far as the trial is concerned. Failure to establish value of the evidence in this case. Failure to establish the type of bomb that was used to do the train blast. No relevant materials are given by the Maharashtra ATS. Identical parts in the confession statement. Such a shocking part that there were same statement given by different eyewitnesses. Mixed correspondence by the police, by the DCPs. Voluntary confession certificate was completely absent as far as the trial is concerned. Moving on. So these are the lapses that have come to the fore. Some sections, same sections in the confession, identical statement by different eyewitnesses. Accused established torture is the last lapse that has come to the fore, and this is what the High Court had mentioned when it gave the acquittal to 12 of these accused in this case. Let me go across to Ganesh Solanki, who joins us live on the broadcast, who is kin of the blast victim. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic TV. 19 साल हो गए हैं ये सब हुए एक्विटल हो गया, एक्विटल अब स्टे भी हो गया है, पर जो लोग हैं जो कन्विक्ट्स हैं इस केस में, 5 को तो डेथ पेनल्टी भी मिली थी, वो आज भी बाहर हैं. आपका रिएक्शन इस पे?
बेटा, हमारा रिएक्शन ऐसे है कि जो भी गुनहगार है उसे सजा मिलनी ही चाहिए. जो भी गुनहगार है इस केस के लिए. हेलो,
यस सब बोलिए, हम सुन पा रहे हैं आपको, आप बोलिए.
जो भी गुनहगार है इस केस में, आज मेरे पिताजी को गए हुए 19 साल हो चुके. हमको पता है हमारे पिताजी का दर्द क्या है
जी. और इस केस में काफी सारे लैप्सेस भी बाहर निकल के आए. काफी पुलिस की तरफ से भी बोला गया कि पूरा केस खराब कर दिया गया. अभी हम अपने व्यूअर्स को बता रहे थे कि किस तरह से गलत इन्वेस्टिगेशन की गई थी, आई विटनेसेस के स्टेटमेंट गलत रिकॉर्ड किए थे, और बहुत चीजें सामने आई हैं. और ये पिछले 19 साल से चल रहा है कि पुलिस गलत कर रही है, उसके बाद हाई कोर्ट एक्विटल दे रहा है, और अभी सब के सब बाहर है.
ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. सबको सब जिस टाइम पे सेशन कोर्ट ने भी दिया था, इन्होंने जजमेंट दिया था कि सबको 5 को फांसी की सजा के साथ उम्र केस कर दी थी. तो हाई कोर्ट ने आने के बाद फैसला पूरा पलट दिया. अभी हमको हुआ है कि सेशन कोर्ट से, सुप्रीम कोर्ट से अच्छा कुछ फैसला मिलेगा. हमको थोड़ी राहत मिल रही है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट हमें अच्छे से अच्छा फैसला दे दी थी
जी.
हमें अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट का उम्मीद से इस पे बैठे अभी
जी. एंड दिस इज व्हाट द फैमिलीज आर सेइंग, दैट दिस इज अ मॉकरी ऑफ जस्टिस. हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद. इट्स बीन 19 years एंड नो क्लोजर एट ऑल फॉर द फैमिलीज देयर एज फार एज द 2006 serial blast case is concerned. Now shifting our focus, businessman Anil Ambani is under the scanner once again in the money laundering case. ED today conducted raids at his residence in Mumbai in Maharashtra. An investigation has revealed illegal loan diversion of around 3,000 crore from Yes Bank. And ED has also found that just before the loan was granted, the Yes Bank promoters, in fact, they also received money in their concern. And after ED heat, Reliance Infra and Reliance Power issued a statement today in which they said that no no impact whatsoever will be there on Reliance Infrastructure, its business operations, financial performance, shareholder, employees. Notably, this is what the statement mentions. It also goes on to say that Anil Ambani is not on the board of the company anymore. In the midst of this, share of Reliance Infra hit the lower circuit in the trade, dropped by almost 5% today, even as the raids continue in Maharashtra. As far as the residence of Anil Ambani is concerned, the heat of Enforcement Directorate is mounting on Anil Ambani. Listen in to this ground report.
Almost 7 hours have passed, but ED officials still is conducting search operation in Reliance Center. All staffs are inside and nobody allowed to go inside and exit from this office building. Let me show you the pictures, live picture we are showing here. All officials, ED officials, 4 officials, we got to know that inside in this building now, and all staffs of Reliance Industries, they are also inside in the building. And we are showing live visuals. ED officials are inside and security in charge has locked the main gate of Reliance Industries, this office which is situated in Mumbai South Fort area and Balad Estate. This is the big office, 2-storied building. Officials are inside in the building, and we got to know that ED officials has entered this office with some boxes, and they have some documents and they are checking it again and again, but no confirmation when they will come outside from this building. But they are inside and still searching operation is going on.
From Mumbai, shifting our focus to Karnataka, actor Darshan, a key accused in the kidnap, torture and murder of a 33-year-old Renuka Swami in June last year, is now under the lens once again. And this time of the photo which have emerged from Thailand, where he can be seen having a gala time while out on bail. And look at the visuals on your screen. Last year, he was seen smoking and having a coffee inside the jail, and now he's out there in Thailand, firstly enjoying the second visual that you can see on the ferry in Thailand, and the next one is that he's having a gala time there with his friends, partying, laughing around with his friends in Thailand. And this comes on the day when Supreme Court heard his plea against, in fact, a plea against grant of bail to him. The top court expressed serious reservation over the Karnataka High Court's decision to grant him bail, adding that it was not convinced by the reasoning provided by the High Court while it was granted bail. Let me go across to my colleague Smita, who's been tracking the story very closely. Smita, many are asking, is law not the same for everyone? Because he's been granted bail on the medical grounds, but there in Thailand, he can be seen enjoying, having a gala time with his friends. What are you learning about his return from Thailand, and as far as the Supreme Court hearing is also concerned?
Well, the High Court granted bail not only on the medical grounds, but yes, it was also a major part of the argument from the lawyer who, argued in favor of Darshan. But he got a regular bail from the High Court, and also he took the permission for going to a foreign country for his film shooting, that is Devil, which has been shot in Thailand. But as we can see in the visual, he's not only doing a shoot, but also enjoying a vacation with his family, enjoying fishing, boat riding and all, while Supreme Court today has expressed a serious concern about how can all accused in a heinous murder case can be given bail. Not even a single accused amongst the 17 is in the jail as of now. How can all of them be sent out on the bail is what Supreme Court is expressing its concern. Not only on this, Supreme Court judge has in a straight word said it doesn't seem that the High Court has used its mind judicially while granting the bail, because we have FSL reports, we have the statements from the eyewitness, and also we have many primary witnesses which show that there was a brutal murder of Renuka Swami, who claimed himself as a Darshan fan. While the court also expressed his concern, quoting the judge himself quoted that even though Darshan knew that Renuka Swami was his fan, how can one celebrity commit such brutal attack and then come out from the place and click a photo along with the co-accused? Is what the judge asked the lawyer who argued in favor of Darshan, while the Supreme Court judge has also clearly said that we will not commit the same mistake as High Court. But the Supreme Court has not, put out the judgment. It has reserved the judgment because yet 7 co-accused pro-lawyers have to submit their written arguments. 1 week time has been given for them, and within 10 days, probably Supreme Court will pronounce its verdict whether Darshan will continue the bail or will he be sent back to the Bellary Central Jail.
Absolutely. All eyes will be on that judgment by the Supreme Court. But very scathing remark coming from the top court as far as the bail granted to him is concerned. Thank you so much for all the details. Now, we are shifting our focus in a historic step. The India-UK Free Trade Agreement was signed in the presence of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. And in fact, UK Prime Minister was also part of this. The agreement has been finalized with an aim to enhance the bilateral trade to $120 billion by 2030. Effectively doubling the current trade volume between both the nations. And the agreement will help in reducing the tariff on exports of labor-intensive goods, including leather, footwear, clothing, and import duties on the whiskey and automobiles as well. Listen in to what Prime Minister said today in UK.
Look, and we both know this is the biggest and most economically significant trade deal that the UK has made since leaving the EU. And I think I can say that it's one of the most comprehensive deals that India has ever done. So thank you, Prime Minister, for your leadership and for your pragmatism. And I'd like to thank everybody who's worked so hard to get this deal over the line.
इस एक वर्ष में हमें तीसरी बार मिलने का मौका मिला है। ये अपने आप में मैं इसे बहुत महत्वपूर्ण मानता हूं। और यूके और भारत हम एक प्रकार से नेचुरल पार्टनर हैं। आज हमारे संबंधों का एक ऐतिहासिक दिन है। आज हम दोनों देश मिलकर के पारस्परिक लाभकारी एफटीए और डबल कंट्रीब्यूशन कन्वेंशन इसको संपन्न करने जा रहे हैं। ये अपने आप में भारत और यूके भावी पीढ़ी के लिए एक बहुत मजबूत रास्ता तैयार कर रहा है। व्यापार और उद्योग के क्षेत्र में एक नया अध्याय जुड़ रहा है। हमारे किसान, हमारे एमएसएमई, हमारे युवा, मैं समझता हूं उनके लिए अनेक नए अवसर पैदा हुए।
And now shifting our focus, today was day 4 of the monsoon session of the parliament, and once again no business could be conducted amid protests by the opposition parties over the Bihar survey that is currently underway, and session witness proceedings being brought to a standstill, in fact by the opposition uproar over the ongoing special intensive revision of electoral rolls in the state of Bihar. And among other issues, this was in fact the agenda that stood out. Now what we are learning so far, that prior to the start of the session, opposition members staged a massive protest at the Parliament's Makar Dwar, and the first 3 days, in fact, as we've been telling you, of the session were largely washed out due to similar protests, leading to repeated adjournments and no business whatsoever being conducted in the last 4 days. Watch this.
He said we could think of the possibility of boycotting election. If Election Commission of Bangladesh becomes a kind of paradigm for our election commission, I think that's the saddest news for Indian democracy.
But Mr. Jha, as reputal has also come from BJP by stating the RJD speaking like the Maoists, by stating that they should boycott, the voters should boycott election. BJP leaders from Bihar.
Have they heard of Mao beyond the word Mao? Do they even read anything? I mean, we are actually pressing for what is happening is maximum exclusion. And who are these people being excluded? Dalits, backwards, minorities. Shouldn't we speak for them? We cannot allow our democracy to be converted into aristocracy.
I want to remind the government which is saying Election Commission of India is not part of the parliament. Are the 40 lakh voters who have been excluded from the voter list, are they not part of the nation? Should we not discuss their dilemma? This is an anti-people government. What more evidence do you need? We are moving a motion. If you have something to say, you say it on the floor of the house. This is the demand of the people who are facing this process. It's happening in Bihar today. ये बंगाल में होगा, असम में होगा, केरल में होगा, तमिलनाडु में होगा. आप देखते चलिए.
And now shifting our focus, Thailand and Cambodia are engaged in an armed clash amid the intensified dispute over a stretch of their shared border. The latest violence, in fact, erupted today morning is what we are learning. Cambodia has now asked for UN's intervention in this matter and called Thailand a war-hungry nation. And more than 10 people, we are learning, including several civilians, have reported being killed in these clashes between Thailand and Cambodian troops. Thailand's military said that Cambodian troops opened fire first with heavy weapons, while Cambodia's Ministry of National Defense said that its troop acted in self-defense after coming under the attack. And this marks the latest flare-up in a decade-long dispute over the Emerald Triangle. Now that is in contention. That's a geopolitically sensitive region where the borders of Thailand, Cambodia and Laos converge, and the area is home to several ancient temples, and this has in fact led to these clashes that took place today. 10 Thai people, we are learning, have lost their life in this clash that took place between the two nations today. And this is what we could pack for you in this bulletin of 6 stories at 6. We'll be back tomorrow with more such stories. Till then, keep watching Republic TV.